pledged to stay an MP and fight his corner. He has to explain away 3 separate cases of undeclared vested interests. If he manages it, they should put him in charge of the Channel Tunnel, because rarely will anyone have dug themselves out of a deeper hole. But Ted Heath was back in the news. Old leaders never die, they only eat more lunch. A magnificent meal was given, and all his friends in the Tory party attended. The bill came to £8, but only because Ted didn't have a starter. That really must have been a weird dinner. 15 years his entire party have slagged the poor old boy off, eh? How did he feel? They asked him, "Do you want to have Mrs. Thatcher for lunch?" He said, "Yes, as long as she's very well done." So, ladies and gentlemen, we got 1 or 2 kind of letters and things after last week's show. A couple of people have written in asking why I always wear the same revolting old sparkly suit. I deeply resent this. I have 2 revolting old sparkly suits. Sometimes I wear one and sometimes I wear the other. Actually, this suit did act, you know, it used to be a different suit. It used to be a quite little business number, actually, but I did a gig near Sellafield and it's been glowing ever since, you know? It's all image and reality, which is the theme for this series, because this series has a sort of theme.
We can see that, Mr. Elton. It seems to consist of being as unpleasant as you possibly can. But you're not shocking me. I know you're trying to, but you're not, so there.
The theme of the series is the reality gap. The cosmic distance between what is real and what is perceived. The difference between what we experience and how the media interpret those experiences.
Sounds damn dull to me, so stop shilly-shallying and crack a decent knob gag.
You meet the reality gap everywhere. I quite often take the mick out of adverts, and I recently watched an award ceremony for the best advert, and the one that won was surreal. I couldn't believe it. The reality gap on film. It was set on a train. Not the sort of train you and I know, but a train in heaven. Oh, everyone's relaxed, spreading out. Never mind a double seat. They've all got 4 seats to themselves. They're playing chess, nodding off. One bloke's shoes turn into a pair of slippers. And over it all is this lovely bluesy jazz track. It goes, "Kick off your shoes, singing the blues and get lazy." I thought, what on earth are they advertising? Turned out it was British Rail. I couldn't believe it. Have these people ever been on a Super Saver? It's like the Black Hole of Calcutta with luggage racks. I mean, if everybody kicked off their shoes on a Super Saver, we'd all suffocate. Now, let's face it. We aren't all stretching out. No, we're not stretching because we're jammed in by that student who's wedged in the gangway by his backpack. He can't go forward. He's like a stranded tortoise, isn't he? He's out there. We're not listening to Get Lazy. We're listening to some dingbat of a British rail guard with the microphone technique of Motorhead going, "Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to pick up your personal belongings, which are those items which belong to you personally on a personal basis before leaving your train by means of the exit, which is a door for exiting and is clearly marked as such." Ladies and gentlemen, I posit a guess that you get through the rest of your life without friendly advice from British Rail.
And here are your keys, sir. You can drive it away.
I should jolly well think I will. Don't forget your car, sir. You'll be wanting your car or you'll have nothing to drive along the road in.
Oh, but of course! Oh, thanks a lot, British Rail Guard. That was a close one.
Excuse me, sir. Thank you very much, British Rail Guard.
Trains are actually an interesting part of the reality gap. We love trains. Despite the fact we allow our service to be run down, we love them. You know, we set a lot of adverts on beautiful trains. There's one for Tennant's low alcohol lager. It's set in the buffet. Not the sort of buffet you and I would recognise. It's the buffet on the lazy train. I mean, there's no vomit on the floor, you know what I mean? And they've actually got something behind the counter besides a small square of fruitcake that's been laminated in plastic. You know, it's a beautiful buffet, and there's a bloke sitting there. He's drinking Tennant's low alcohol lager. He's a good-looking bloke. He's a kind of yuppie. Because, you notice they're upping the image of lager a bit. They are. He'll be drinking Kestrel out of Cointreau glasses soon, yeah. The gold blend couple will be having a sip before they fail to have it off yet again. God, I wish those two would just do it and get it over with. I've heard of foreplay, but this is getting perverted. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, shall we have it off now? Let's have another cup of coffee.
Oh, don't be so unimaginative, Mr. Elton. There's a great deal of fun to be had with a screw-top jar and a warm spoon.
Anyway, the bloke sat on the train drinking low-alcohol lager. Opposite him is a beautiful woman, right? They don't know each other. You got the setup. OK, so up the corridor staggers Farty, right? Now, you'll recognise Farty, because he's you and me. Yeah, we're the Farties. We're not the male models, the beautiful girls. We're not wearing the Levi 501s, or if we were, they still look like Woolworth jeans on us, eh? Farties. We're the people who can't get out of a traffic jam by driving their Vauxhall Nova through a building site. That's us. The people who aren't opening a small pottery business with the help of Barclays. Ladies and gentlemen, that ad is completely beyond me. I am, as I hope you know, no stranger to taking the mick. But that ad is unskippable. Actually, I'm opening my second kiln. Yes. I just talked to Barclays, and the rest was easy. Let's all try it, shall we? There's millions of people watching this programme. Let's all pop down to our local Barclays tomorrow and say, hello, we'd all like to start up a small pottery business. We were assured it would be easy. They'd say, oh, sorry, you need 100 grand start-up capital. Didn't we make that clear? All these bank ads going on about small businesses, online factor services, all the rest. All we want is banks that put on a few extra staff at lunchtime and have pens on the end of the little chains. You can usually... You can normally recognise Farty in an ad, yeah. Normally a male Farty, certainly, because he's wearing glasses. O-T, he, flipping he. It's funny, isn't it, the semiology of glasses across the media gap, eh? There's only two reasons for wearing glasses in adverts. You are either a brilliant accountant, or else an utter farty. There's only two reasons. Oh, there is a third reason, which is exclusively for women, so that they can take them off and go... That's it. Only two reasons. Anyway, you and me, Farty, we're staggering up the corridor, right? He's been to the buffet. He's got a couple of those Max Pats. He's struggling back to his seat. He can't. He's throwing it. The door's going ka-chung, ka-chung in the side of his head. He's throwing it everywhere. You know, he's got those two little stirry plastic rods in his mouth and a couple of those tiny plastic buckets of UHT in his top pocket. You know those little buckets of milk, those are the ones with the foil top? Yeah, the one that's been spot welded down, you know? So you break 3 fingernails trying to get it off, and when you do, the little spring inside it explodes all the milk all over your trousers. Those little cartons, they're great, aren't they? They're called disposable. Again, the reality gap. They are not disposable, ladies and gentlemen. They will come back to haunt you and future generations, even if we burn them. They contribute to the greenhouse effect. And all for a thimbleful of stuff that tastes like wee-wee, hey? Why can't we have a jug of real proper milk on the buffet counter? A jug that we have some milk from, you put it back and you move away. The woman from Barclays could make it on her second kiln, couldn't she? Anyway, so there's Farty, you and me, staggering up the corridor with your 2 ecological time bombs in your pocket there, throwing your coffee all over the place. So, Farty spills a little bit of coffee on the beautiful woman, right? You remember the beautiful woman and the tenant's low alcohol? No, but I've completely lost the thread now. I don't know what you're talking about. But the beautiful woman, right? He spills the coffee on her, and, faux pas or what? You know, he's cleaning. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, God, I'm sorry. Now, what is the reaction of the cool bloke drinking the LA to this dreadful contretemps which has just unveiled itself? I will tell you, he takes off his shirt and offers it to the woman to replace the stained blouse. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have been whammed on trains, I'll admit it. I've staggered up that corridor many a time and off with 16 cans of McEwen under my arm and a Kit Kat to line my stomach. It's true. But I have never been so out of my head that I have felt the need to strip off in the buffet. This man is drinking low-alcohol lager. I mean, what would he like with a sip of cooking sherry? The old knob would be out where? Boiled beef and carrots. The woman, God knows what she's been drinking, but she actually, she cooperates. She takes off her blouse and puts on his shirt. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, how drunk would you have to be? I mean, a stranger's shirt. I mean, she doesn't even sniff the armpit. You really would have to be out of it. So why are we impressed by these 2 insane strip artists, right? Why does the product lodge itself in our minds? It's because they're good looking. They're good looking, not like Farty, not like us, no. Our own sexuality, that's being twisted. We're all wishing we were that good looking, that confident. I mean, you know, it takes most people all their courage to ask someone out, but he's just tricks his shirt off. There you go, look at the body, love, do you want any of that, right? It's true. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, sex is a part of every advert. Every advert has a little bit of sex in it, even the most innocent products, like chocolate. I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen, what is that woman doing with that flake? Now, I ask her. We've got to be honest. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's not how people eat flakes, is it? I mean, you don't consume your flake, you know, all sweaty in your negligee, perched on a windowsill in a chateau in southern France, with an iguana asleep on your telephone. I wish she'd answer that phone, I really do. Why doesn't she answer the phone? She's only got to pick it up. Look, I'm going down on a flake. Call back later. No. That's not how we eat them. Image and reality. We eat our flakes on the top of a bus. And we spend the whole time not enjoying the chocolate, but thinking, oh, my God, am I going to be able to get these flecks of chocolate off without... Oh, no, I've stained my shirt. Oh, dear. Always sex. Sex in chocolate. I've never understood it. They advertise chocolate phallically. It's always a beautiful woman to be attained. I mean, Mars bars, they even put the veins down the side. Let's face it. I tell you, there is a serious pervert working at Cadbury's, immortalising his tackle in chocolate. It's strange, isn't it? I pity the bloke that designed the curly-whirly, eh?
I like the one where the lady makes the washing machine jealous by saying, I'm going out with Tom for a curry.
Yeah, but, like, what's the relationship, right? I mean, is she supposed to be having a thing with the Zanussi or what?
Oh, I think so. I can get quite quivery sitting on mine when it's really shuddering.
But, ladies and gentlemen, the advertising industry is not the sole purveyor of nonsense and silliness. It is, after all, often officially sanctioned.
I have in my hand a piece of paper.
And so here we are for another round of bouts of foot-in-mouth disease. Now, the Neville Chamberlain Awards love a contradiction. They love it both ways. Harvey Procter isn't the only MP to have bent over backwards and taken things both ways, that's for sure. Compare and contrast showbiz personality of the 1970s, Dennis Healey's astonishing turnaround. The first quote from April '76.
By the end of next year, we really shall be on our way to that so-called economic miracle we need.
And by the end of the year?
Well, what I've always said is that no government can produce an economic miracle.
Very flexible was our Dennis back in the 70s. Pop him in a leotard and he could have given Olga Corbett a run for her money. Of course, it is not only politicians who win Nevilles. No, we'd like to present a Neville to an entire television programme. Tomorrow's World, the science-based utopia they have been confidently predicting for 20 years, is, of course, a Chamberlain-style fantasy of global proportions. As just one example, witness this Tomorrow's World prediction made in 1972 regarding the state of the Channel Tunnel by 1980.
By 1980, they'll have half-mile long trains leaving London Central every hour on the hour and thundering through the tunnel at up to 200 miles an hour, cutting down the travelling time to Brussels and Paris, for example, to about 2.5 hours.
Unfortunately, by 1980, they'd only managed to tunnel 25 yards. Science is, of course, a law unto itself, and so, as an honourable subdivision of the Nevilles, occasionally we would like to present the Clives. The Clive Sinclair Awards to honour those lonely dreamers who may not have solved the traffic problem, but they certainly know how to crack a visual gag.
After the hovercraft and the hover scooter, the hover barrow. Mud, potholes and puddles mean nothing to the hover barrow. It'll glide over the lots with the greatest